Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see everyone. I'm excited to introduce Carol Bauer. She's the founder and COO of Garden of Health Food Bank. She graduated from Gwinnett Mercy College with an accounting degree. She went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition to become a holistic health coach and help her daughter and herself with their doctors. Her daughter was eventually diagnosed with celiac disease and gastroparesis and had to have her gallbladder removed. Carol then went gluten-free with her daughter and got rid of chronic pain of 10 plus years. After that, she started Garden of Health Food Bank in 2015 with her personal minivan after her daughter was diagnosed with celiac, and realizing that there was little that she would be able to eat, and if they needed support from the local food bank. Over time, Garden of Health has grown to the Food Bank of Montgomery County to support over 65 hunger relief agencies. They also work with two larger agencies in Bucks County to distribute to agencies across the county. They're now in a 7,500 square foot warehouse. They also have an 8-acre farm. And in 2023, they distributed just under 576,000 pounds of food, which is more than 2.2 million servings, or about 458,000 meals. In the first 4 months of 2024, they distributed over 2 million pounds, more than 8 million servings. They get this food from individual donations, manufacturers, work with food recovery organizations like Food Recovery and Sharing Access, Excess. So with that, I'm going to introduce Carol, and she's going to tell us a lot more.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. As Chris said, I am the founder and COO of Garden of Health Food Bank. I started the organization in 2015 after realizing that there was little to no food that my daughter or I would be able to eat after we realized that she was celiac. I also have several nephews who are anaphylactic allergic. And so our initial mission was providing fresh produce and special dietary foods, celiac, gluten-free foods, and foods that were free of some of the top 8 allergens at the time. So this is me delivering to Keystone Opportunity Center. They were our first partner, as they are less than 2 miles down the road from my house, delivering fresh produce and special dietary foods to Keystone Opportunity Center. One of our first partners that we picked up from was Country Fresh in Hatfield. This is my minivan filled with fresh produce that is cut up that we picked up from them. I would literally some days make 3 trips to them to fill up with donations that they had with me. They always laughed when I showed up with my personal minivan to pick up. The picture next to it is our next van that we got in 2018. It was a Dodge Caravan that had to be towed down from the Poconos. And my son did the work on it, and we spent about $5,000 total to get that van. It was much easier to fill that van than it was my personal minivan there. So at the same time, we started with a garden at Zion Mennonite Church in Souderton, where we took clients from Keystone Opportunity Center, and we gave them garden beds where we taught them how to grow their own food. We gave them the plots, the plants, the seeds, and the education, and I worked with them to get their food, to get their plots productive. What we discovered was that first year, right about the beginning of August, middle of August, the plots got vandalized by a group of teenagers, and a lot of plants got pulled out for some of our families. We thought that was going to be a big deterrent the following year, but those families came back again, and thank God those kids were caught, and they had to do community service for what they had done. We then grew so we have 2 sides of our nonprofit. We have the growing side, and we have the food distribution side. So I'm going to start with the farm or the growing side and kind of run you through that from 2015 to current, and then I'll do the other side. So we started with these 8 plots. We eventually turned them into, I think it ended up being about 12 raised beds that we turned them into. And then we moved to a second location that had 21 raised beds that we had a Eagle Scout convert for us. From there, we went on to an acre of land. This is what it looked like as we got it. We turned that into a total of 180 12-foot by 3-foot raised beds. And we had volunteers. This was all volunteers, no paid employees at this point. And we had volunteers that came every day and helped us grow food. Here is some of it in production with some of our volunteers. This next picture is of the STAR program for Siren School District. They have worked and volunteered with us on our farm this season. Going into this growing season will be their 7th season on the farm with us. And they've had at least one student graduate and get a job at Lowe's or Home Depot's garden center. And when he started, he hated the farm, he hated sweat, he hated dirt, he hated bugs. And by the end of that first year, it became his favorite job site to go to. And like I said, he then got a job at the local garden center and loved it. This has become the STAR programs, one of the STAR program's favorite job sites. The kids, the coaches tell me that when we tell them that the farm is closed for the season, they're depressed for like a week. And when we tell them in the spring it's open, they're jumping out, up and down for joy and screaming because they get to go outside and get on the farm again. So this is our groundbreaking ceremony. We went from 1 acre to 7.5 or 8 acres with Hatfield Township. So the township manager came to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to meet. We're coming onto this piece of property and we don't have any use for it." So I met with him and he's like, "We'd like you to take this over." And Carolyn can attest to this because she was on the board at the time. You can see her in the picture. I said to them, I said, "If you haven't heard from me in a week, my board has killed me." And thank God, Carolyn and a few of my other board members were on board with it. And we did a plan, which I actually should have put in a slide presentation, but forgot. We don't want to have it just be a site where we grow produce. We want it to be an education site, a site like we were using where kids from the STAR program can learn some skills and hopefully go get a job. We had over 400 or about 400 students from Siren School District out there last fall. We are doing a 3-year program with the Indian Valley Education Foundation and Allmac Business. The three of us have partnered together to make it so that every elementary school in Siren School District by the end of year 3 will have curriculum in their 3rd grade classrooms and all have raised beds where the kids will learn how to grow food. The food will be brought back into the classroom and they will do recipes and learn about growing their own food and how to do that. So this is our groundbreaking ceremony. We had a landscaper come in and move mushroom soil onto the field for us until that first year for us. This is our current farmer. In the upper right-hand corner, you can see them moving some of that soil. What we use it for is to create our growing beds. So we will put anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of the mushroom soil on top as fertilizer for the beds. Tim started with us last year. He has been a godsend to have him over at the farm, have background. He came from Pocono Organics. And last year he was starting to prep the farm and had our first couple of rows of peas planted by the end of February. That is not going to happen this year. So that's kind of where we stand with our farm. We have a beekeeper that has 6 hives out on the farm for us. The other picture is of volunteers that come out to the farm and some of the stuff they've harvested. We also have bat houses and bluebird houses. We use those as our main primary insect control for the farm. So between one bat and one bluebird, they can eat 20,000 insects in a day. So we have 4 bat houses out there and we have about a dozen bluebird houses out there. We have gotten some honey off of the hives, but the main purpose for the bees is for the pollination of our plants. So last year we did about somewhere between 13 and 15,000 pounds of produce off the farm with about 800 unique individuals volunteering during the growing season. So our next side is our food banking side. which when COVID hit at the end of 2019, I told my board we could not keep growing at the rate we were growing at. We were doubling in size every year. And then COVID hit in 2020. National Celiac Association reached out to me and said, we have a gluten-free company in New Jersey that would like to donate a tractor trailer to you. Can you take it? And my answer to them was yes, but give me a week to figure out where it's going to go. Because prior to that, I ran the entire organization out of my house. Anything that came in went right out. So we put something out on social media. The Lansdale Business Center immediately responded and said, we can donate some space to you. And within a week, we had that first full tractor trailer to us. And I think before we rented a space with them, we had received 2 additional full tractor trailers from them of donated food. So we went from this larger space that they donated to us to renting about 15 to 1,700 square feet of space. We also did direct services out of here. Prior to COVID, we were only serving families that had the special dietary needs. We saw during COVID that there was a bigger need for a food bank in Montgomery County that did everything. So we started servicing everybody at that point. During COVID, we did drive-through distributions where we were seeing upwards of 450 to 500 families for our drive-through distributions. And then we were also servicing about 300 to 350 families a week through there. We did that space you can see in that upper picture. We could fit about a tractor trailer to a tractor trailer and a half in there. And when we had to get from one end of to the other, I was climbing over pallets to get there, which we won't tell anybody about that. So we were there for about 2 years. We grew out of that space very quickly. We are now at in North Wales at the old Lansdale School of Business, if anybody is familiar with that. We have about 7,500 square feet. Of that, about 5,000 square feet is our warehouse space. So we moved in here in 2022, I believe. We are just about to start our 5th year here in March. We'll start our 5th year here. And so we've grown from there were a couple of mistakes on what I sent, Chris. I didn't catch them. I apologize. So in 2023, we did just about 586,000 pounds. In 2024, we did 2.1 million pounds. Last year, we did about 1.9. And in the first 6 weeks of this year, we are just shy of 400,000 pounds of food brought in. Now, we have not moved all of that, but I would say, 3/4 of that has been moved out and the rest of it will continue to move out. So we bring in full tractor trailers. This is kind of the space kind of empty. We have no big refrigeration when we first moved in. We were able to get some grant money and we were able to put in, let me see this. Well, let me go this larger refrigerator freezer so we can get 8 pallets of frozen and 8 pallets of refrigerated in there now. Prior to having any refrigeration space, we would lower the AC in here to 55. We could move a full tractor trailer produce out within 24 hours. That's all we did. That's all we focused on when we got a full tractor trailer produce, was getting it out as quickly as possible. Now, mind you, we do not have a truck that fits full pallets that we can just put pallets in and out of. We have 2 vans that we are working from. We have a newer cargo van, and then we have a transit van that we work from. But this is just some ways of how food comes into us. These are some of our partner agencies coming in and picking up food from us. So we are now over 70 hunger relief agencies in Montgomery County that we support, and we are the largest agency. We move more food through Montgomery County than Fill Abundance does, and we support more agencies than Fill Abundance does in Montgomery County. So if you see the truck in the parking lot, we until we got that refrigeration inside, we would rent a refrigeration truck, or Bergie's would donate one to us, and we would distribute the cold stuff out of the parking lot, and then they would come into our warehouse to get the shelf-stable items from us. We currently have a monthly distribution where we do a large distribution. We see about anywhere from 50 to 60 agencies in 2 days come in, and they leave with upwards of 2,000 pounds or more. They show up with 3 cars at least to fill with the food that they get from us. We did just hire a warehouse manager. He's in his second week, and he has opened up the warehouse to the agencies every week to come in from 9 to 3. We were allowing agencies to come on other weeks, but I would put something out, and our hours weren't quite as flexible as they were until we hired Joe just recently. So he is coming from a background in warehousing and food insecurity, so he's going to be a great asset for us. And it is so good not to have to distribute the cold stuff out of the refrigerator van out of the parking lot. That kind of got dicey sometimes. So I was hoping to have a video that I could show you about what that warehouse looked like now, but we are packed to capacity, and we are just about trying to move as much food in and out of here as we can. Any questions?
Awesome presentation. Yeah, I'll open it up. Yeah, definitely. If anyone has any questions, again, great job. I think it's amazing work that you're doing. This is impressive. And I love seeing growth, like seeing the journey and the grind that it takes to grow, especially to the size like this. So kudos to you. But yes, if anyone has any questions, feel free to shout them out.
So I'm just wondering how you guys manage during the snap cuts, because I do work with a food bank and with the Warminster Food Bank, and I saw what a challenge it was for them to meet the growing need late last year when that all happened. So how did you guys survive that span of time?
We have added some new partners that we get food from. We get no federal or state funding support. We are a privately funded food bank. So we only go after one and done grants. So all the food that you see that move in here is done through private donations. We get donations from Clements Food Group. We get donations from Leidy's. We have some larger organizations that we get full tractor trailers from, and we reached out for additional partners, and we're able to continue to provide our partners, and Cindy can attest to it, with food, and our partners were coming to us for more and more food. So we lucked out and were able to continue to provide them with the stuff that they needed.
Is there a reason why you don't try to get state funding? Because I know the food bank that I do PR for, last year got a $30,000 check from their state representative, and
So we will go after one and done. So we did get a state grant to help us pay for the refrigeration. We have gotten state grants to help us pay for equipment and things like that, but we do not want to become dependent on federal or state funding that will affect us and trickle down to affect our partners.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Makes sense. Before we jump over to Cindy, I think she has her hand up. Can you stop your screen share? We'll go back to speaker view just for the video. And
Sorry
Cindy,
about
no, you're good. On you, Cindy.
Hey, I just want everyone to know how amazing Carol is. We have created a partnership with them on top of just utilizing the benefits of all the work that she has done. She has somehow managed to get more food to all the pantries as equitably as possible. So throughout the last, 5-6 years that I've been working with her. It is as impressive as I think you all could see from the slideshow. So just a little fangirling.
Awesome.
If I can
I want to
add
just
that.
echo that.
And Linda too.
Hey, Carolyn, I just want to echo that. Carolyn's been a good friend since she's just a perfect example of no is not an option. She just continues, and for those of us that know her well, know she does not sleep. I don't think ever. But she just continued and continued to knock on doors and network. And, in a lot of instances, creating a program for healthy alternatives for food, I think it unlocked and opened a whole another door of partners. But what she's done has been amazing.
Thank you.
And I'll keep adding on to that. I just want to shout out that Carol did this by herself for basically the first 8 years. It's been around for 10 years. And so she's had a farm manager for 2, and you heard her mention briefly that there's a new warehouse manager. So this has all been done by volunteers, segueing to, and maybe Carol, you were going to wrap up with this, but the volunteer opportunities for Garden of Health are amazing. So if you're looking for a team building opportunity, get out, take your team or a group of friends, or your kids' soccer team, or your kids' youth group, or Boy Scouts, because the volunteers run the farm. There's one employee and it's all volunteer run. Carol, do you remember how many volunteers last year? About 400 or 500, I think.
No, we had on the farm, we had just shy of 800 unique
800.
volunteers on the farm last year. And we are probably the only place in Montgomery County that can accept large groups. So we can take a group as large as 50 out on the farm. We do spread them out so we don't overwhelm our farm manager, but we can manage groups of 50 or more. And as I said, we had almost 400 fifth graders in 3 days out on the farm, doing different stations with them and everything. And we really feel that it's important. We encourage kids to come out and volunteer and learn where their food comes from. And they were taking peppers off our plants and biting into them like they were apples, and eating celery. And they were so happy to harvest the sweet potatoes. And one of the schools actually took the sweet potatoes and made like 4 or 5 different recipes with them so that the kids could taste them, because they were worried that if they took them home, they wouldn't get used. And then they sent the recipes home that the kids liked.
Wow. Awesome.
I would
Awesome.
like to
Bob.
chime in. This is really, really great to see and just witness, especially the growth through the pictures. I think that was a good visual for us to see like what it was in the beginning and to where you are now. So shout outs to you.
Thank you.
Um, and I have a youth group. I mentor girls, and I'm already thinking like this would be a great experience, middle schoolers and high
Yep.
schoolers come out and really be hands-on and learn about one, just food insecurity, but also the plant beds and the food beds, and then also the community service of making sure we help others, like we don't get here on our own. And I
Yep.
think your journey is a testament to that, because even though you put the work in, there was so many other people that were involved
Oh
and
yeah, it's not me. I
yeah,
mean, all of this could not happen without volunteers,
yeah,
and they are the ones, our volunteers, our companies that sponsor us, the individuals that donate to us. I'm just the face of what's going on. I'm not, it's all of that. It can't be done by one person. It has truly become the community. Our farm has truly become the community, growing for the community. And even in here, like we have to turn volunteers away in here because they're like, well, we want to volunteer in there. And I'm like, I don't have enough space for that many volunteers in here, so we take what we can in here, but our farm allows us to take a lot more and really get people to understand what's going on in Montgomery County, because we're the second wealthiest county in the state. So people don't realize how many people are food insecure in Montgomery County. There's more than 100,000 individuals in Montgomery County food insecure.
Wow. We have time for one more question. Bob, I see your hand up.
I have a comment and a question, but I'm really impressed with the sustainable activities, particularly the pollinators and pest control that you're using. That's amazing. I am curious, do you do composting on the farm?
We do not, and we did not put that in the plan. Our farmer is not on site in the winter times, and we don't have the equipment to turn it either. However, we did and I'll announce it on here. We haven't announced it out in public yet on our, should I announce it, Carolyn, or not? So we just, after 3 years it took us to get, we just received word that we will be receiving a $350,000 grant from John Fetterman's office for building our farm out. So I don't know that we will ever compost on the farm, but we work with a composter that takes any of our stuff and she composts it. So we do get it composted. We're not trashing anything that should be composted.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. So again, fantastic presentation. Thank you so much. Folks, I put the link to their website below, and we'll also, if you want, we'll share your contact information in our next email blast that we send out. And of course, this video of your presentation and the Q&As will be on our LinkedIn page sometime next week. So folks, make sure to look out for that and share that, when you see it. Let's.
Can I ask one more question really
Oh,
quick?
yep. Shoot.
How does one bat or one bluebird eat 20,000 insects a day? Like, do they,
Between
do
the two of them, one bat and one bluebird, between the two of them, they can eat 20,000 insects a day.
how do they catch them all?
I don't know.
Skills. They got skills over there, Debbie.
It's amazing.